start talking. We're on there. Thank you so much for coming back to Sarita Talks. Awesome guests coming on. People that have been in the struggle and are on the other side. They got the redemption stories. They have things to share. And guess what? We have the lived experience. So I'm so excited to introduce Clinton Drummer, Financial Liberation Training Academy. Tell us about it, Clinton, please.
First and foremost, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing to be here. So yes, I'm Clinton Drummer. Financial Liberation Training Academy is my heart. It's a nonprofit organization that I founded about 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we're a nonprofit that's based on, or should I say, that is passionate about providing financial, business, and employment education in areas of what we call the Big Three.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to get to the Big Three, but just what this man is talking about thus far is every cycle of life that somebody is in, they can benefit from financial literacy, especially coming from incarceration, especially coming from being homeless, especially coming from being, in the foster care system. You don't really have the tools, and you're not, listen, I've been to prison, you've been to prison. They're not teaching us the tools in there to be financially literate. So I'm going to turn it back over to you in the Big Three, but let me tell you, you are doing something that is much needed in communities that need it more than most.
Thank you so much. And I 100% agree. It's so needed. And it breaks my heart how much this issue is overlooked, and then unfortunately, there's so many of us that is suffering from lack of financial awareness, right? So many of us getting out of prison, going in prison at a young age, right? Mm-hmm. 18, like I did, went to prison 18, sentenced to 16. You want
to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So at the age of 18, I got incarcerated. Mm-hmm. It's a long story, but to keep it short, I was protecting my daughter. Yeah. My daughter was in a situation, and it was a crazy situation. And so it led to me becoming incarcerated at the age of 18, 51 years to life.
Wow.
So I went inside like really young, really not having any financial skills, not really having any type of skills other than street smarts. Right?
Yeah, being a child, 18-year child.
Exactly. So I went in and I just realized halfway through my incarceration that, you know what, I need to like really gain some extra skills to like really succeed out there. And unfortunately, I was at a maximum security prison, so there wasn't a lot of classes. There wasn't a lot of resources for us. And so I just really started reading a lot of books. I started doing everything I can to educate myself.
And that's what you have to do. You do. From the day that you get in there, you need to be planning on going home. And I also want to talk a little bit about, and this is just me, unrealistic. I see somebody's tuning in. Thanks. Unrealistic expectations. People get out and they're like, I'm going to push a brand new whip and I'm going to have all these clothes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You have to have something that is realistic. Like when I came home, I knew I didn't want to work fast food, so I'd rather clean a toilet. So I was comfortable if I had to be a custodian. That was something I was going to do. However, I was blessed to have get a wonderful job and then work part-time at a call center. But let me tell you, I was willing to do the same things we do in prison because we're in there working like slaves. We're all Israelites. And the wage and where I lived, where I did time and where I'm at, it was $850 a month state pay. And that's if you had a GED. So come on, man. Like it is, how are you going to learn financial literacy when you have no money in there to budget?
Exactly.
And no one to kind of guide you. So back to the Big Three. I went all up. And how much time did you serve?
I served 16 years.
Yeah. And I'm trying to tell you, these are people who are warehoused.
Yes.
So tell us about all the good things that you are doing now and could have been doing before, but we're doing them now.
Yes. So now, after going through that situation, I, really start paying attention to what a lot of people was going through outside, right, in society,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
how can I position myself to be successful upon my reentry into society. And so, and I just noticed that, um, I kind of did some soul searching and just realized, like, you know what, I don't want to work for anybody. What I want to do is I want to chase my purpose, right? um
Yes.
and I want to create a business, and so
Entrepreneur.
yes,
That's where
yes,
it's at.
so
Yeah.
at that time I'm like, you know what, I noticed there's a big problem with a lot of minorities being incarcerated that is
Hmm.
innocent, and I think that so many people
Yeah.
don't realize that there's a lot of innocent people in prison. There's a lot
Brenda
of people.
Williams, Danita Pendleton,
Yes,
Teresa Cummings.
yes,
I
so
mean,
many.
nobody's saying their names, so I'm going to say their names. They need to come
Yes,
home. All of them are elderly.
yes, yes, we have to say their
Verna
names, you know what I
Jones.
mean? Definitely, definitely. And it's heartbreaking. It's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
and but listen, we got 3 people tuned in. I surely appreciate you. Thank you. We're just talking about the people who's, who are in a situation that I would never imagine going to prison, and I was guilty of my crime. There were circumstances that led up to it, but I would have never imagined that that would be my life. Now imagine if you were innocent and you got
Right.
locked up.
Exactly. It's like next level. It's no joke, and so at the time I said, you know what, I want to do something about it. And so I created a nonprofit at that time called Lost Souls Foundation.
Oh,
And I created the organization from prison, with the help
nice.
of just, reaching out to investors, reaching out to people that can really connect with my
Yeah,
vision.
yeah.
And the organization would basically help people that were innocent or who couldn't afford legal assistance to connect with a lawyer who needs clientele, right?
Yeah.
And so the organization did amazing. We reached every state in the country,
I love it.
incarcerated, and it was just inspiring. It was beautiful. And when I realized, like, wait a minute, there's a lot of people in here with me that want to start businesses and they
Yeah.
don't know how. And if they could, I believe that they would change their life, right? I believe that,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. There's so many of us working towards change, and there's a very small margin of people that actually belong there, or there's actually and or, which is the same. Mess that
exactly.
all up. Doesn't matter.
Nah,
It's a ratchet little show. We're not even going to edit it. It's fine. Anyways, there are people in there innocent, but there's also people that never had a chance to fight for themselves because they didn't know how.
exactly, exactly. And it's sad, you know what I mean? And so that during that period of my life, I was just kind of like I reached a little level of success that I had
Yeah.
never could imagine at that time, especially still having years to go in prison. And I'm like, okay, I want to teach this to people. And
Nice.
so I got involved in like teaching. I got at the warden, got at the captain. I promised them that if they allowed me to teach a business class here, a financial or business class, I guarantee the violence would go down. And at this
Woo.
time, this was the most violent prison in California. This was New Folsom, 180, very
Wow.
extreme prison.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so he was able to allow me to do that. And literally the violence went down. I got all the knuckleheads in my class. They were
Yes.
learning how to build a business and
Well,
they
you
were
knew what
looking
drew
at,
him in there, didn't you? Money. Come on.
yes,
This man's talking about money. Let's go to this class. Go
yes,
ahead.
yes. And so that was just based on my business reaching that level of success and still being in there with them. It really
Hmm.
inspired them to, like, you know what, I can create a business and actually run it from in here.
That's
And
nice.
so it was all good. And then my father passed away. And
Mm-hmm.
my father was one of the main people that I had working for me and that was hiring people for me on the outside. And so it just broke me in half. And the reason why he died is what founded financial liberation. Um,
Okay.
so started making a lot of money while I was incarcerated. He got up to
Mhm.
6 figures, a year. But he never had that kind of money. He didn't know how to manage it. He didn't know what to do with it. He's from a small town in Louisiana, right? And
My
so,
parents are from small towns in Louisiana and Georgia. Monroe, Louisiana. Shouts out. Go ahead.
oh, Monroe. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. My family from Simsport, Marsville, Mansura, all
We're
those little
related.
cities. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm your little baby cousin. No, I'm your older baby cousin. We're not going to talk about it though. Okay. We're not going to talk about it. All right. Yeah. We're embracing it. Now go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's from this small town. And let me tell you, they get a little, older people got money back in the day. They bought things outright.
Yes.
Outright. You cannot build credit that way.
Exactly. And so him not understanding credit, him not understanding money management, him not understanding pretty much anything about finances, he would continue to build up expenses. The more he made, the more he spent. And then what happened is he got sick. He ended up getting sick. And it was because of the stress. He would stress with having to pay and live paycheck to paycheck. He had just bought a 5-bedroom home, and now he's behind, and he ended up losing everything. And so when he lost everything, he ended up back in an apartment inside of an area that's well known called the Jungles in LA, where they film Training Day and stuff at. And so, and it broke him. It really broke him. You know what I mean? And so he started having heart issues, and unfortunately, it led to his death. And so that broke me in half. It kind of, I couldn't even understand it. But then I realized, like, wait a minute, man, like this same thing can happen to me, right?
Yeah.
The same thing is happening to other family members. And so
stress, cholesterol, and it's really prevalent amongst our people. So, and you can die of a broken heart.
Yes. You know what I mean? And so that inspired me to create Financial Liberation Training Academy. And so what we do is we really speak on unhealthy financial spending cycles, right? Emotional spending, right? So the role that emotions play in financial decision making. And a lot of times we find ourselves in a cycle, and we can't really identify why we're stuck in the same spot, so to speak, right? Even when we make more money, even when we, doing other things, a lot of times, we kind of find ourselves in this cycle. And so what we raise awareness to is the emotional spending cycle. So we have a cycle where we kind of explain, how wants can trigger certain emotions that could be stronger than needs.
I need this class. They're not stronger than my needs, but I still got some wants in me. Okay, I got some wants.
We all do.
I got a little consumerism. I'm fighting it. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and it's a fight. That's the word. Like, it's a fight. You know what I mean? And so we like for the prison system, I go inside every week.
Nice. And what prison are you going into? The same maximum security, or?
Yes. Well, I go into another one. So it's called Avenal State Prison.
Okay.
And then Valley State Prison, we go inside of there. And then we go into the Women's Fire Camp, which is a low-level prison.
And are they fire women? Are they out there fighting fires?
Yes.
Nice. I hope they're getting a good wage. How about that? Go ahead. I know. That's a thing. And they're fighting just as hard as any other firefighter out there. And there's men that do it too. So where's their livable wage? Why aren't you helping? They are out there working like savages. Now, that's a whole nother topic about low wages, but these women are risking their lives.
Literally.
Yes, at the fire camp. So, all right. So back to, sorry to interrupt. You go to these 3 prisons. You're talking about consumerism. You're talking about the things that really help people to fall down and stumble. Because once your money's gone and you've got all these things that you basically mean nothing, you've invested nothing, and then you're depressed, sad, and looking for another way to get that money.
Exactly. And so our financial reentry program is a 15-week training that we go in every week, and we pretty much cover every part of your reentry process that's connected to finances, right?
Right, right.
We cover money management, we cover saving, investing, emotional spending, financially related triggers, right?
Ooh, give me an example.
So, for example, a person is incarcerated for a long time. He comes home, she comes home, and lack financial awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, if you have these unrealistic expectations of how your life is going to be when you get out of prison, and then it doesn't meet your expectations, a lot of the times it triggers us, right?
To go back to old behaviors.
Yeah, because in prison you don't have to deal with finances, right? But
oh, you do. You got to budget your little money.
Yeah, I mean, just little budget, which we also teach that's a transferable skill.
There
right?
You go.
Take that when you go in the store every month. You do that out here, and you able to get enough food for the month.
Yeah,
man, a lot of us can't even do that.
Right? You hear me?
You know what I mean? But like, just a lot of times people come home, man, and it's like, okay, I used to live a criminal lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to live like that anymore. But there's a lot of resources that I'm not aware of, right?
Yeah.
And so if I'm not aware of them, they don't exist to me.
Yeah, how are you going to wrap around me in a service if I don't even know you exist?
Exactly. You know what I mean? So when that happens, a lot of the times you start going through those financial struggles, and then it triggers you into having a mental relapse, right? Now you're thinking like, man, you know what I mean? I got to get some money. I got to get a place. I got to get this, whatever the case. And you put that with not having credit or having bad credit, that equals an unhoused individual, right? That equals financial instability, right? And now this person is in a situation where he's or she could become financially triggered into relapsing into previous behavior.
Okay. So that financial trigger is, I don't have it. I need to go get it however I can.
Survival mode. Exactly.
Been there. No way to live. It is no way to live. So we're talking about reentry, but you do a lot of work with homeless people as well. Tell us about it.
Yes. So a lot of the people that we work with, most of them have been incarcerated, but they have a lot of problems with just getting on their feet and getting permanent housing. And so with those individuals, we run weekly workshops, the same program, the financial reentry program, and we really focus heavy on credit with them.
Yes.
And so we help them to build their credit. We take them through every part of how credit works. We make sure they get a firm understanding on it. And then we also help them to build their credit, right?
Okay.
And then that way we can help them to get permanent housing.
Yeah.
And so now when they apply, they actually have a fair shot, because a lot of times we can help them get jobs, right? We can help them, give them the skills to, like, hey, keep your expenses down, right? So that way you can have enough cash flow to cover your rent and certain things. But they lack the credit, and that's another main component.
That's that linchpin. That's that linchpin. Now, is it easy to try and build some credit with someone who's homeless? That sounds like a huge task.
Actually, it's not. It's not. I mean, you have different categories or different stages of homelessness that people are experiencing out here.
Okay.
There's some people that's just like deep in addiction, right? And so they're in a deeper cycle, right? And there's people that just came home from prison or been home from prison for a year or two, and they just, they can't.
Yeah, they can't get in the flow because it's hard.
It's hard. You know what I mean? And so, but we've identified that it's hard because they don't understand credit. That's right. That's the main part. Like if for me, I I came home after 16 years, never lived 1 year in society as a grown man, but was able to get my own place in 3 months or less, a little bit less than 3 months, right?
That's right, because you had learned and taught a class.
Exactly. That's unheard of. But what helped me is because I paroled with a 700 credit score. Right?
I had a 720. I was paying $5 a month on my student loan. How about that? Listen, Clinton, high five.
Yes.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so how that changed the dynamics of our life, right? It helped us to be able to leverage ourselves financially. It gave us
a car, all the things.
Right. It gave us more options, you know, and so that's something that we're really passionate about, is just helping people to be put in the right position to be able to succeed. And a lot of times,
that equity,
things,
equity. Like some people, like if I don't have legs, then I'm gonna need. Well, I'm an ableist, but I'm gonna navigate my life in a different way.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard. Well, it's gonna be different for me to navigate. So basically, not having good credit is like it is a disadvantage.
It is.
And and it's a disability too, because it limits your ability to do the things that most people can do. Yes. So you work with youth too. You do it all.
Yes, it's mind blowing to me. I mean, even like the areas, you know, like out here in California, you know, you look at an area as far as renting, you look at an area, you know, with that you got to have a 700 and above credit score, and just look at the area. Just
it's not a good area.
You know, it's like when it's a high credit score area, they don't go through. You have to move your car because the trash truck is coming.
Right.
The street sweeper. If not, you get a ticket. Right. So on and so forth. All these different things. And then you go to an area where that type of credit score is not required. You can have a low credit score, and then look what you see. Right. You see like
struggle,
a bunch of stress. Right. There's a bunch of struggle. Right. And so when I noticed that, I said, man, is anybody peeping like the ripple effects of bad credit? I mean, you pay more for everything. So having bad credit is an expensive lifestyle, right?
Because your interest rate is always ridiculous.
Exactly. You pay more for your down payment for your home, right? You pay more for everything, right? I mean, for your first and last, or your security deposit.
Yes. Which is a huge deterrent for somebody. I'm trying to get a place. I don't have that type of money.
Bingo. So it's a system that's created to keep you in a certain spot. Yeah. And I've noticed the racism even in credit, to where it's like, man, so it's so many people that needs to know this, especially in our community, because it's much more than just being able to buy a house one day, or being able to, or going to get a car off the lot. You know, a lot of us, we put our credit at risk, especially people that's coming home from prison. We put our credit at risk for a car on the lot, you know?
Yeah.
And so what we teach is like, don't do that, especially on your first year, right?
Or here's another thing too. Don't get out and apply for a lot of credit cards, because that's going to tank your credit score.
Yes.
Hard. And you don't really want to be using money that's not yours.
Yes. And so we kind of get into like different strategies that'll help for different situations and different people.
I love it.
But like a lot of us, most of us, especially out here, get out, we get a car off the car lot. And I tell people all the time, they're going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Because you're not understanding what's really going on. Right. Yeah. You're losing 40% of your money as soon as you drive away. You'll never be able to liquidate that and get that money back. Right.
No.
On top of that, you put your credit at risk, because if you have to pay that for 5 years and you get sick, you miss a couple payments, which multiple people that I've worked with have experienced, which broke my heart.
Yeah.
Car repoed. And now that car stopped you from being able to get a house. Right.
And you've lost all the money that you paid into that car because you missed a few payments.
On top of losing all the money, so it's like risk versus reward is what we talk about with
Good.
credit. Build your credit, protect it. Now build business credit, and that's where you can play, right? Because now with business credit, the same rules don't apply to that applies to personal credit. There's no hard inquiries. There's no utilization limit. There's no none of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, so that's something that we kind of get into with, how do you build your business, get your own personal credit right, bank with the bank, build that relationship with the bank, and then create your business account with that bank, right? And so every account that you have with a bank is a relationship, right?
Yes, and that's what it's all about. Even in financial literacy, it's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships. So if I'm building the relationships with the bank, a big strategy that I always put out there is you got your banking account, open up your savings account, put $25 in there, something, but open one up. And then with the same bank, you open up your business account and you open up your business saving account, right? So now you have 4 relationships with the bank.
Yeah.
What happens if your credit is even halfway good? They're going to give you a business credit card offer, right?
Yeah.
So within 90 days, you get that business credit card offer. Usually the bottom is $3,000, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So just like with personal credit, the bottom is usually $300, right? And so now I get that business credit card, and even though I had the personal guarantee on that, so if I miss payments, it still affects my credit.
Yeah.
But I can leverage myself way better with that business credit, right? Because now I'm building that credit up. And then once I get to 2 years or more, now my business can establish its own entity, its own credit.
That's a lesson in itself. That's a lesson in itself, being able to leverage your debt.
Yes.
Wow, what a class.
All your expenses go on that. You want to get a car off the lot, it goes on that. You want to get this, that, right? And now, if you get sick, if something happens, you have a whole layer of protection, right?
Nice.
Your credit is not. So if you ever use your credit for anything, like what I do, I would always, when I got out of prison, I would borrow $10,000. I would buy 3 cars off the auction, and then I would make $15,000 and just pay the rest back, right?
Okay.
And I would keep doing that, and it would just
continued to stack.
Exactly.
But you have to save. You can't just take that money and run out and be a consumer. Now tell us about the program you have for youth, please.
So the youth program
with foster kids need it.
Yes. It's foster care kids in Los Angeles. It's called the Pathway Youth Employment Program. And to put it simple, it's a program that helps foster care youth that are 17 and 18 that's aging out of the system. It helps them to gain the life skills, the employment skills, and the emotional intelligence to be able to deal with adulthood.
Oh, right? I know, because they're at a state where they've almost been that's kind of parallel to an incarcerated person.
Bingo.
You know, because we lack preparation sometimes.
Yes. And so overall, FLTA whole main goal is to prevent or reduce recidivism and incarceration and homelessness. And so the way we do it is working with the adults, but also working with the youth to stop the cycle, right? To slow the cycle down. So now eventually when they become adults, they're not taking on the same trend of incarceration and homelessness as these people are, while the people that we're working with in the prison system is getting out and not coming back. So ultimately, we could reduce the prison population. We could reduce people, foster care youth going into the prison population and being homeless, because now they're having credit, they have employment skills, they have life skills, they have emotional intelligence to be able to, deal with conflicts and situations. And now we can get them housed.
Yeah.
Right? And so we partner with employment agencies to employ them right when they graduate from our class.
That's right.
So get them a little job. And then
And
after
that's
the
a
job,
self-esteem boost. It
yes,
is. And that helps us be more successful when we feel better about ourselves.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, well, you're a nonprofit. So I'm just going to shamelessly plug that he needs donations. Do you? We can always use donations. I have a nonprofit
Definitely.
organization, A Home for Her here in Missouri, ahomeforher.org. Clinton, tell us how to get a hold of you and how to donate to your organization.
Yes, so you can get a hold of me by Googling Financial Liberation Training Academy, or you can reach
Okay.
out to me directly at 213-423-1047. My
Now,
extension
you
is
know you're fine. You
104.
just can't put your number out there like that.
Reach
Oh my
out,
gosh.
man.
All
I'm
right,
for
say
the
it
people.
again. Say it again for all the say it again. He's in California too, ladies. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But Financial Liberation Training Academy.
Yes, yes. So
Thank
financial
you.
liberation training academy.org, and you could contact us through there, see everything that we're doing, and then also you could donate from there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Clinton. Once
Thank
more, I
you.
appreciate you guys tuning in to Sarita Talks.